Hey, welcome back to the Disney Plus Everyday Challenge, and today we have Tsunami Race Against Time. This is a National Geographic docu-series. It's 4 episodes. Each of them are about 45 minutes long each, and it's from 2024. This is looks like it was kind of released in recognition of the 20th anniversary of this absolute devastation of the Southeast Asia and India, and beyond, Indonesia, Thailand, all these different places that were hit with a massive earthquake that, of course, along the coastlines of these areas received tremendous devastation as a result by tsunami. Basically, a gigantic wall of water that, as one of the seismologists that were tracking this kind of thing describes, in this, I only watched the first episode, which it uses footage that people were filming at the time. Just thousands and thousands of people filming. There were people on vacation there, down in Thailand or Sri Lanka or Indonesia, just having a great time at the beach with their families. And this is before using one of these devices, or phones, basically, was a common thing. This is 2004. We had certainly had cell phones, but they were not smartphones. And so there's footage of other people filming other people with like handy cams or bigger cameras and filming what was going on. And yes, it's a little bit of a jumbled cam at times, but yeah, it is. You get to see people just like, hey, we're on the beach and the water is getting closer to us. What's going on? And run, basically, is the main word in whatever language you spoke at that moment. It was run, inland, high ground, whatever it was. And that's what people did their best to do, and many did not make it. As a result of, going back to what the seismologist was saying in this, is that when you have an earthquake under the ocean, imagine like the floor of the ocean just suddenly lifting. And that, the only thing that can lift tons and tons, uncountable tons of water, is something that's an earthquake. It's the earth. And it lifts that water, and then eventually has to come down, but it just doesn't come down and just go flat and nothing happens. Obviously, ripples are created, and these are not just a ripple in the bathtub or the swimming pool. This is many tons, fluid ounces? No, I don't think we can measure it in fluid ounces. This is the ocean, the Indian Ocean, to be precise. At first, they were getting notifications that there had been an earthquake and that there was no credible tsunami threat to the Pacific Ocean. So Hawaii, they were like, oh, we're fine. We might feel a little something, but nothing of any dangerous level. But the Indian Ocean is a different story. One of the most interesting parts of watching this is a lot of this is talked about in real time to a certain degree from the point of view of different people who were there and in it. From people who was just like a guy who's a mechanic, lives in Indonesia, a family on vacation in Thailand, a young man who was 15 at the time, with his parents and his younger brother, being interviewed about what happened back then in their own words, intercut with footage that either they had acquired or footage that others had filmed at that time in that region that matches up to what they're talking about. A young woman who is preparing for a wedding in, I believe it's India or Indonesia. I'm not exactly sure where, but it just suddenly many people just, even inland, they didn't know what was coming. They had no idea, and it's just a wall of water which suddenly turns into massive moving fields of debris deeper and deeper inland, Some people were able to even just ride the debris along just overflowing rivers, which slammed into bridges. Some people, that's all the further they went. People riding platforms, shattered, broken platforms of debris. Eventually, some stop at the bridge. Some stop if they can get to the edge. Uh, Good luck. There's people. You just you. There is footage of one man, the mechanic, I believe, who uh, just found himself at this woman's family's home where the wedding was happening, and just she has footage. She was filming. She was there making sure to film for the wedding, and well, she got to see a whole lot more, and she kept filming. There's a story of a young man who, with his wife, when he heard about what was happening, he grabbed a camera. He's it's one of his things. He films footage, maybe for the news. I'm not exactly sure what his job was, but he and his wife had gone out, gotten in the car, and in a Jeep or whatever, and they saw what was happening, and then they did what they could to grab what they could. But meanwhile, his mother was staying back at the house, and he never got to see her again, except in footage that was filmed by someone else in that area. And you get to see these people. It is not it's not a happy story for most of them. For any of them at that point. There are people who are separated, who've lost their families. A young man from England, it overtakes his family in no time. And he grabs onto his younger brother as much as he can, but eventually the power of the waves separate them. And he does his best in just days to try to get to safety, to find other people, to find safety. And yeah, it's not an easy watch. They do blur out. There's moments where people are disheveled and naked and everything else, but that stuff's blurred out. Thankfully, just because that would be just rude if they didn't. But there is footage, so be careful if this is the kind of stuff that upsets you easily. There is footage of people who are lying dead amongst the debris. You don't see their faces, but yeah, it is utter devastation. And unsettling. And this is just the beginning. It's the thing is, what these seismologists had learned at the time is that while they may be looking at the Pacific Ocean when they see the location of the earthquake and everything else, they had not taken a look at the Indian Ocean and the possible effects there. And they do, at least in some areas, like in Indonesia, they did not have the same type of tracking technology or the means to communicate when something like this happens. And while they were not able to save and protect the people of Indonesia, they knew that the tsunami, the waves, were still going further and further and further. And by the time this episode ends, they have a moment where they go, we have the opportunity to warn Sri Lanka and warn other smaller island nations, countries, lands. There's so many little islands through there. Some of them, I imagine, were just wiped from the map. Others, just utter devastation. 20 years later, I don't know if some of these little resorts that peppered the beach even exist anymore, if they ever rebuilt, if the people who ran them are still around. But we might find those out in later episodes. This is, when I'm looking at this on IMDb, it shows it as a 2 hour and 52 minute movie. Here, thankfully, they break it down into 4 parts, so it is easier to digest. So if you get a chance and you are interested in a little bit of nature history, and don't think that this kind of thing can't happen in anywhere else. A tsunami that follows a devastating earthquake, even at the earthquake, just like, oh wow, we get earthquakes here in California all the time, and we're used to them. It's not we don't even think about them. But there's a big earthquake coming at some point. At some point, whether it's right here on the fault line or if it's way out in the ocean, don't know. And they remind us to be ready for that kind of thing. To have a bag ready to go. To keep yourself safe and alive and prepared, but you never know which direction it's coming from, and it's the Earth is going to do what it's going to do, no matter who we are, where we are, how rich or poor we are. It's going to do what it's going to do, and we have the means to protect ourselves, and yeah, unfortunately, there's some people who took away certain things that protect us. That hopefully we'll get back at some point. But it seems that some people haven't learned their lessons when they decide to cut budgets. Good luck, Florida. You may not get earthquakes, but you get hurricanes. So yeah, I mean, there's plenty of other documentaries about weather devastation, things like that. There's so much National Geographic has done, but this is done in a very unique way. Well, I don't know if it's necessarily very unique, but it is definitely a way that sees the human toll. It's not just data and not just from seismologists' maps and readouts on a computer. This is you see the human cost and what happens when we are not prepared, when we do not have the means to protect ourselves, when something that had not been seen in more than 40 years, almost 40 years actually, 39 years, suddenly hits populated areas. So hopefully we learn from these lessons, and hopefully these areas, should the same thing ever happen again to the same magnitude or worse, these areas are better protected, and so that people can, so there's not so great of a death toll. So definitely check it out if you're into this. It is not for the faint of heart when it comes to seeing the terror that comes from a truly horrific thing that we have absolutely no control over, especially 20 years ago. So let's pick tomorrow's episode. 40. What do we got for number 40? 40. Oh my. We haven't had a series in a long time. This is a scripted series. That's why it's in the orange color. It's not a docu-series or whatever else, but as far as I know. But it is... I don't know if is it foreign? No, it doesn't seem to say it's foreign. But you know what? Hey, we have 5 series left. Now we're going to have 4 after we watch this. We have so few. We're coming down to the line. I mean, honestly, we will make it. I did a recheck. We will make it to July. We're going to finish the next quarter. And we're barely going to make it into July. Unless a lot of stuff gets pulled from Disney Plus for whatever reason. And as long as they keep adding stuff, which they should, and not just season 2 or season 27 of things, we'll have plenty to watch all the way into July. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. We're going to be watching tomorrow Invisible. I do not know what that's about. Invisible. All right. Well, that's said enough. So tomorrow, Invisible in the next Disney Plus Everyday Challenge. I'll see you back here tomorrow with that. Bye.